It's not just Fed policy, it's also just a generally strong consumer confidence that we see at this point of time. The economy has looked strong for years, and especially since Trump took presidency, and I think we're just in an exuberant time. And people find these rate increases as normal given the economic conditions.
But Professor, can both consumers and investors stomach the pace that we've seen in terms of the increase? Even if it was expected, it has spillover effects.
Yeah. Well, I think the Fed is, well, careful, and it has been tightening now for a while, but at a very measured pace. I don't think it's creating any alarm at the present time. I think I said this is an exuberant time, but it's also a complacent time. We've just seen such steady growth. We had a recent over 4% GDP growth number. People extrapolate those things, and right now they're not so worried about interest rate increases.
So do you think if in fact people are complacent, what are they complacent about the possibility of? That in fact growth falters, that in fact this rise in interest rates is not necessarily purely a signal about better times? Where do you think the blind spots might be?
Yeah, I think the complacency is a somewhat an inattention complacency. Remember this thing about Kavanaugh, we've been concerned with other things. The economy seems to be coasting upward. But this kind of complacency, this kind of confidence, I think is volatile. In the past, this kind of confidence could be disrupted mysteriously sometimes with a market correction.
Wanted to ask you about your expertise in housing and how you see these higher rates impacting the housing market, which was already looking a bit shaky.
A bit shaky is, yeah. In our latest S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller report, we noted that there's a weakening of home price increases, but they're still going up at a good pace nationally. There are some cities, Seattle, New York, Boston, that have shown a lot of weakening, but it's still not falling. I think that these housing weakness has to do somewhat with the trade war, although you might think it shouldn't, but the idea that we're going to have Chinese or foreign investors pushing up home prices is a bit of a downer at the moment. So, yeah, the question is whether this is a turning point in the housing market. I'm a little bit worried about that, but not ready to call that.